Good afternoon, everyone. Just a little request before we begin. We will highly appreciate if you all have your videos on. Thank you so much. Oprah Winfrey once said, the biggest adventure you can take ever is to live the life of your dreams. And today, we have something which we dreamt of. I, Riya Choithani, your founder, president, GirlUp HRC, take pride in welcoming you all to the launch of something that we once saw as a dream. And today, we're finally here. With us, we have our pillars of strength. We have someone who was there since the beginning, without whom we couldn't have done this. Our professor, Ma'am Ms. Rifa Patel. We have our core committee, our stellar Samaritans, our emotional support. I would now move forward to request Krishnas to tell you all about what our club is and what we do.
Okay, so hi guys. I'm going to be saying about what GirlUp actually is and what we're going to do. So GirlUp was founded by UN Foundation 2010 as an initiative to help support UN agencies that focus on adolescent girls in developing countries, provide them equal chance for social and economic opportunities and a life from violence. GirlUp helps girls access their inner power to advance their skills, rights, and opportunities girls everywhere. Inspiring a whole generation of girls to be a force for gender equality and change. When girls rise, we rise. We now have a short video explaining as to what GirlUp is and what it does. Can we have screen sharing, please?
Imagine this. You're 12 again. From school to soccer practice, there's a lot to navigate, including the rest of your life. You get decent grades, find a few friends, make good decisions about boys, well, mostly.
Hey!
You go to college, get a job, buy some shoes. You fall in love and plan for the future. Maybe you're still figuring it out, but you're on your way. Okay, let's rewind. You're 12 again. But this time, you're one of the 85% of all the world's adolescents with a lot fewer options. School is out of the question. You have to work. You're forced to marry at 13. Your husband isn't faithful, so you get HIV by 18. And without a whole lot of say in the matter, you have 4 kids by age 20. And after that, well, things just get worse. Now multiply that by the 600 million adolescent girls in developing countries, and you start to see that our world is at a turning point. But what if you could improve the odds for these girls? When you connect the dots, you start to improve the options for girls around the world. Let's rewind again. Age 12. But this time, you help provide a safe space to live, learn, and play. Really, a place to be a girl. Add better healthcare and a small loan to start a business, and what do you have? The power to help her build a better future. For herself, her family, her community, and her world. You can make this change happen right this second. So what are you waiting for?
That's what we aim to do, guys. I hope you all understood the video and understood what we are aiming for here. So we will need a lot of support and help. Thank you.
Krishna, I would like to take to Ramchandani, without whose support we couldn't have done this. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank
Am
you
I
so much,
audible?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, completely. Thank you so much for joining in.
Yes.
As you may carry on.
Okay. So up next we have the face of GirlUp HRC, a core committee. We have Ed, please. Okay, first we have our president, Ms. Riya Chaitani, and we have our vice president, Mausam Modi. Now I would like to hand it over to Riya to announce our department heads.
Thank you so much. So we have committee people who have rolled at our backs, who have been doing work and who have been actually trying to make a change, without whom we wouldn't have been able to even launch the club. So we move forward to our committee. We first move forward with our admin heads, Aditi and Ayman. We then move forward to our PR heads, Tisha and Haley. Next, we have our marketing team, Inna and Ed. We then have our events committee, Krishnaz and Sakshi. And last but not the least, we have our IT heads, Aditi and Yash. We're so glad to have you all here. We also have introduced something which is a very different concept. People who have been on emotional support, the concept of Samaritans. So basically, Samaritans are the people who have had our emotional support out whenever we need the help, whenever we need some guidance. They're always there ready for us. I'm so glad to have our Samaritans here as well. While we started, we were just a raw idea. We needed a whole guidance, a procedure. Quite fortunately, we had the right people. We had our principal, ma'am, Dr. Pooja Ramchandani, who actually gave us the whole support that we needed to start the idea with. We then move forward to Professor Rifa Patel. Ma'am guided us throughout the process. We had Shreya, we had Mosam, and then finally we got an overwhelming response of having over 150 people joining our club in the first week when we started as well. Which brings us here today to our core and to all of you all. Thank you so much. I would now like to take a moment to call upon Ma'am Rifa to introduce our guest speaker for the day and please say a few words. Thank you.
Hi, and a very good afternoon to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So I would like to introduce our guest speaker for today, Ms. Khwahish Khan. Now, Khwahish Khan, at the age of 15, had published her first novel called An Identity. After that, there was no stopping for her. So she wrote, and wrote some more with an aim to make a difference with words and talk about things that people sometimes choose to ignore. She's a frequent contributor to Assembly, the digital publication and newsletter co-founded by Malala Yousafzai. During the lockdown, she hosted a session for girls under Teach for India program in association with Wonder Girl Co. She recently became a part of Girl Up Sky, which has since then provided her with the opportunity to work with strong individuals to achieve the much needed equality. A warm welcome to you, and we're looking forward to know what you have in store for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. Good morning or afternoon now to all of the dignitaries at HR College and all of the attendees. I'm so very grateful to be here. I love GirlUp as an organization, and every other club under GirlUp has a very special place in my heart. I'm going to try not to bore you as much because I'm going to take you down a journey of my relationship with the color pink. We've known since years now that pink has been associated with girls. And so I've had a very weird relationship with this color. It's always been an up and down throughout my life. During one phase, I hated it. In the next, I thought I could tolerate it, but then I hated it again. When I was younger, the girly toys, as you would call them, were all pink in color, from Barbie to Polly Pocket. I just took you down a nostalgic trip, didn't I? I used to walk into a toy store and see a binary. I knew which section was mine, if you may, because there was a clear distinction which were appropriate toys to suit my gender and which weren't. The boys section was ruled by the color blue, while the girls section was predominantly pink. You see, we weren't particularly taught this. We learned from what we saw. And so I grew to hate pink. I hated receiving gifts in pink. A question rang in my mind every time someone assumed my favorite color to be pink. Was this all that I was? Fortunately, my parents have been the kind to never conform to this color binary, either pink or blue, pink for girls. I've had the freedom to explore my likes and my dislikes. But you see, like I've said, I had an anti-pink phase of my life. And during one such phase, I was often called a tomboy because the cartoons I liked were not feminine enough. I enjoyed watching WWE, even though I couldn't quite keep up with the names of the fighters. But that's a different story. Back then, I took pride in being called a tomboy because I felt like it set me apart from the rest of the girls. But you see, the term in itself is very problematic. The Atlanta tomboy was first used in around the mid 16th century while referring to a rude or boisterous boy. By 1592, it began being used for girls who acted like spirited or boisterous boys. So a lot of questions came to my mind after reading that. Why do I have to be called if I got my septum pierced or if I wear baggy clothes? Why do I have to be called a tomboy if I play Call of Duty or Uncharted? Why do I have to be called a tomboy if I play football? Why can't I just be called me? Why is there a need for society to categorize everything? It's either this or that. Why? More so, why is one category considered so much stronger that if I express myself in a certain way, I will be labeled as being half as a boy? Valeria Safronova, a respected lawyer via the New York Times, said something about the issue of being called a tomboy, and her words are something I strongly stand by. She said, masculinity and femininity are expressions and constructs that can be separate from gender. Girls can be masculine, boys can be feminine, and it's not necessarily indicative of gender identity or sexual orientation. We have traditionally conflated these things, and it's useful to You see, it's here that my relationship with pink began to mend. I saw it with understanding. Pink too was a victim of societal categorization. And as weird as that might sound, that made me soft towards the color. Because I realized it's not the color I hate, it's the stereotyping I hate. I want you to think of the color for itself now. Just the color. There's a softness to it, a certain grace of feeling. You think of flowers, the cheek. It comes off to be a delicate color. So why do all of these images in particular come to our mind? My opinion, it's the attributes developed by subjugated women which played and gave it the status of being perceived the way it is today. Pink didn't set our status. We set pink status. And by we here, I refer to society at large. Now, it might sound like there were no efforts taken at to break down the stereotype, but there were, and there still is. And GirlUp as a whole is a proof of that. We're simply struggling for something as simple as equality. And the reason I call it simple is because we're all entitled to it. You aren't born with a status, you're given a status, one which you don't get to choose. The status you've been given is by others on the basis of how they perceive themselves without even considering what we might be worth. By putting it that way, how does that make any sense? Why should we be who you want us to be? And here is where I got extremely soft towards pink. They made pink who they wanted it to be. They conditioned us to believe that pink meant girly, and being girly meant being stereotyped, and so we grew to hate it. You see, now at the current stage of my life, I hate pink. It's just another color. And through pink, I realized, why are we hating on humans? We're literally, why are we hating on each other? We're constantly trying to one up the other. We're all human beings again, and we all deserve an equal footing. I understood the sad reality of gender inequality through the means of pink. I'd like to recite a poem that I had written on the same, which encompasses it. It's a piece very, very close to my heart. This is how it goes. Unfortunately, every time you see pink, you think of a woman with the scent of a flower. And she is supposed to be as delicate as pink, shy as the blush on your cheek, her feelings closeted like pink, and you only see love, shade of pink. But you don't see that the color comes with a price to pay for our color you call pink. And your palms filled with our color, you drain onto our skin with so loud, so full of roar, the pink begins to bleed. And our pink changes shade, which you shame with all your being, for we bleed onto ourselves, a shade ruled to be unseen. And you shame us for being pink, an innocent color who labeled us who you want us to be, without realizing that pink is just a color which runs in you and me. Why must we be one color, the one which you decide? It's time we be who we want to be and not under your disguise. So the next time you see pink, you me and mine, but of the color for itself. So innocent, so kind. Thank you so much. It's been me. I really hope HRC 60. I wish it all the very best for all of its projects, and I would continue to support it. All the very best. Love this initiative.
Thank you, Khwahish. It was a really good poem.
Thank you so much. I'm just speechless right now because it was so good. And you have literally portrayed all the thoughts that are running around in our minds in that speech you gave us. And it was just amazing. So thank you for coming here and thank you for giving us such a beautiful experience. Ria, why don't you introduce our principal now?
Sure. So just an add-on to what Krishna said, Vahish, there have been a few incidents which happened just yesterday when all of us were actually deciding a color decor, and that's exactly when the idea of pink came in, and every word that you could say was leaving all of us speechless, and I could literally see the expressions in everyone. It was as if something which was in the back of us was spoken and put into words, fabricated so beautifully and with so much of it that it left us all null. Thank you so much for being here with us. And we hope to actually contribute with GirlUp Sky and bring out something really good. Thank you, everyone. Now I would move forward to the next phase of our launch to invite someone who was the person we went. At least I would say I went with a very raw, and she gave a thumbs up. She said us to go ahead with a lot of courage. She gave us the trail that we set, which is now a path in front of you all. I would like to take a moment to thank our principal, Dr. Pooja Ramchandani, if she's here with us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here with all of us. Oh, I would request you to please say a few words.
Thank you, dear Ria. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I think where I see lot many girls in the screen and even the speaker who's looking so young, poised, achieving so much. I think hats off to the entire girl community in HR college who thought about coming up with this association, the chapter at our college, which is GirlUp. I would congratulate Ria and her team and Professor Rifa, who immediately told yes to them because initially the idea came into what are you going to do? Because we already have WDC in college, intern committee in college. So what is going to be this GirlUp club or chapter in HR? The the confidence that I saw in these kids, and I always call them as not my students, but brand ambassadors of HR College. So these young brand ambassadors, which are completely empower HR College to do various events, came up with this idea of this chapter in HR, and they said we want to um, do certain events for girls. Of course, I could see one men in their core committee, which is commendable that they are treating them equal. And the kind of events, I told them that what kind of events you will do. And I think they started with an Instagram post on the club, which was really very, very nice. I shared it on my Insta account too. The whole idea or journey of a girl, right from the day she is born to the day she achieves something, it's a journey that she only knows, and the struggles that she looks at, positively performing many roles in her life, right from being a daughter to a sister, a mother to a wife to a daughter, many other roles that she performs. We always see a smile on her face. And I think GirlUp chapter in HR College is aiming at bringing a smile to each and every girl in HR College by having fun events, by having those events that are troubling them, by having those issues that are itching them inside. This platform is going to be for girls. Of course, boys are welcome. When they the issue is right from the beginning in our childhood days, it is taught that girls are second to boys and they are second to everything. You know, there are certain houses like mine, when I was born and brought up in a house where were given a priority. Of course, I have nothing against boys, but the houses that give equal treatment to girls, I've always seen progress. I've always seen beautiful families, the bonding, and I've seen girls growing and taking up responsibility, not just in their houses, but at different places also. I think this chapter of HR, GirlUp, is going to create history, because we are not saying we are superior, but we are only saying as girls that we are also there. Treat us equal, give us freedom, give us wings to fly. We will show you how to reach the stars. So with these, my brand ambassadors who are stars in HR College, the autonomy that we give it to our girls in HR College, the empowerment, I think it's an example that GirlUp in HR arrives. And I believe this is just the beginning of a beautiful journey of all my brand ambassadors who are girls in HR. And let this journey be beautiful. You take up issues in this chapter, those ones, because girls need to talk to someone. And you should be the one. That is our ambition, and that is our vision for GirlUp chapter in HR College. And I would, Poish, I was listening to her. She looks like a very young girl. I will never ask her age, because you should never ask women age, but achieved so much in your young age. Thank you so much for joining us virtually in HR. Would appreciate if you join us offline in HR anytime you're close to Churchgate, and do as you were introduced that you're writing, give chance to these kids and tell them they can create their career by writing on different issues like you have been writing. So would look forward to meeting you in person and in HR College, and be a mentor to these girls of mine who are young, first year, second year, third year students, or just getting out of their education, because workplace is something that they will actually face the reality, because in colleges we treat them like our bachas, but workplace will treat them like the way they want to be treated. So with that, always stick with us, and I think Vaish will be looking forward to you getting into, and I would say please take these girls into your internship and let them learn newer and newer career opportunities. And I think, thank you so much, dear, for joining in, and would love to meet you. So girls, the GirlUp chapter officially begins. All the best, and always create magic moments for all the beautiful angels and brand ambassadors of HR College. All the best to beautiful angels of HR College.
Thank
All the
Thank you,
best.
ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you so much. It wouldn't have been possible, not even an inch of it would have been possible without you. Thank you so much for being so cooperative, so coherent, and for letting us coexist, which is why the motto of ours is be coherent, coexist, and collaborate. I would now take a moment to call upon Professor Rifa Patel, ma'am, if you would like to say something.
Yes, thank you so. So when Ria came up with this idea about Girl Up, I was when I heard of it, I found it so interesting. I'm like, in our college we do have a lot of committees, a lot of clubs focused towards girl, but this was something which primarily focused towards uplifting the situation of girls, and I'm super excited, and I'm so happy that we are launching today. And thank you, ma'am, so much for your support. Like ma'am's always there. Like no matter what you have, ma'ams, or you always have ma'am's back. So thank you so much for it, ma'am. And yeah, that's it from my side.
Thank you, ma'am. So before we move forward to a conclusionary note, I would like to take a moment to thank our core who has been working so hard, so diligently for everything, even when it's just the beginning. Aditi Bahane, Aditi Walia, Eman, Eshita, Haley, Hina, Krishnaz, Mosam, Sakshi, Suyash, Tisha. A core who has put in all of their hard work, all of their effort to bring it out. And to the Samaritans who've been there as our emotional backs, we look forward to taking a lot many things. Oh, last but not the least, I would like to invite Mosam, our Vice President, to say a few words.
Hi, this is GirlUp's Vice President Mosam. Thank you so much, Divya, for handing over to me. Just echoing on what Pooja ma'am said, HR college has always been a very conducive environment, and it hasn't really made us feel like, oh, girls are secondary or anything like that. And I'm glad that I get to attend a college where I'm treated as an equal. And moving on to Kwahish's speech, that was very, as Ria said, yesterday we were discussing if pink is the correct color to go with. And we were like, what you said really makes me think, and I'm on a very reflective note about my own relationship with pink, because I was like, hey, no, I don't want to go with that because like gender norm. Am I just hating on pink because it's supposed to be girly? Am I trying to be not like other girls? Is that wrong? So I think Kwash gave us all something to think about. Um, I'm very glad that all of you could make it here today. And thank you so much for attending. Um, I want to extend my heartiest thanks to Kwahish for taking out time and putting in the effort to come and speak here today. Thank you so much. You were really inspiring. We have a lot to learn from you, like Pooja ma'am said, and we'd love to see you in person. Thank you so much to Pooja ma'am for her support and guidance, and to Naveen sir for encouraging all of us. Thank you to Rifa ma'am, who's always been there. She's been so approachable, and it's been very easy working with her. And thank you to our Samaritans for always having our back. And lastly, like Ria said, thank you so much to our core who's worked really hard on getting this launch successful today. And they've been very great to work with. And I look forward to a wonderful year with you. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. I would request and the Samaritans to stay back for a group picture. Thank you so much.